Hello and welcome back to another episode of Pop Culture Reacts, and we are back in Sweden with our favourite historical band, Sabaton.
I like how you changed that up from favourite Swedes so I couldn't do my Freddie Lundberg joke again. Or Henrik Larsson. Insert any footballer I've used in the past.
Zlatan.
Yeah, one of these days I'm going to learn like people who aren't footballers. Probably I'm not going to learn that, but you're probably right. It probably is my favourite historical band because off the top of my head I can't think of any other. Oh no, who did we do that did the that one of the dudes from Sabaton come along with the ones that did the Italia World Cup song. Who were they?
Nano War of Steel.
That was it. Yeah. But I do prefer Sabaton. But
Yes.
at least I have another historical band for reference.
So this time we are doing Bismarck. Um,
You got what I need. That Bismarcky, yeah.
no, not that
Oh,
Bismarcky.
okay.
But if you want to hear us talk about that, it is
We do it. Yeah, we do
in the
actually do it on
back
the channel.
catalogue.
Yeah. I mean, that would be like quite a departure, wouldn't it, if they went from the history of from World War Two right the way back to kind of going. And here's some recent history: the life and times of Bismarcky.
It'd be different, but I'd be interested.
Oh, I mean, I'd be up for it.
Exactly. So, shall we get our history lesson on with Sabaton?
Let's do this.
On that German battleship, which blew up the mighty battle cruiser Hood.
The signal comes by wireless. The plane has spotted the planes his men.
So, did you find the boat?
seas. His guns have gone silent at last. Bismarck in motion, king of the ocean, he was made to rule the waves across the seven seas, to lead the war machine, to rule the waves and lead the Kriegsmarine, the terror of the seas, the Bismarck and the Kriegsmarine.
So, like before we get into music, I want to do a bit about the video first. I really love that video. I found it very, very gripping and compelling, and I know obviously we've watched some of those videos, and I think they do put a lot of effort into it to try and make things sort of like very visually stunning and impressive. And of course, when they're playing in kind of certainly the war eras, I think that leans to it, and that trying to create something that looks authentic and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know why in particular this video, but this video it is my favorite one by far. On that, I don't know whether it's just because there's maybe something quite interesting about seeing sea battles, because I don't think we see them so much when people are kind of depicting war. But yeah, and I don't know, just like explosions in the water and seeing all the water fly up and things like that. Yeah, I could certainly watch the video a number of times over. I think that, which is, I'm not a big war guy. I think I've said that before on here, and I tend to avoid war movies. I tend to avoid books about war and things like that, because it doesn't tend to grab me. And I think sometimes, let's go with like a war movie. Sometimes I because I'm not a big fan of the wars and circumstances of war, I find watching the visuals of stuff that's going on around it, it doesn't grab me. This did though. I think this is visually stunning.
Yeah, this one is the thing with all of their videos when they do the war-y stuff. It's not there in a glorifying way that you get in films. There's not that sort of that one guy that goes through and shower of bullets, but one guy just runs through taking them down.
I believe his name's Tom Hanks. Generally, yes.
Or Rambo.
Yeah.
But
it's that historical depiction element again, isn't it? In the same way as they, or certainly, because in a lot of the times I'm not an expert in the subject matter that they're singing about, or that they are singing about. I do take a lot of what they say as almost gospel, because it feels like they're trying to portray history as it relatively was, rather than not only a glorified version, but my version of the truth, that sort of thing. It's more factual than opinionated.
And it's the thing as well, it's not in that same way of how you'll get, like, especially American war films where it's like, aren't America great? Down with the evil. They're not they don't pick sides. They just depict the battle, or in this
I wish
case,
I'd remembered. There was a bit at the end that said like "War knows no nation," like you know, and I think to the most part, as I say, not a big war guy, but one of the things that is quite hard in a lot of wars, in fact, most of them, is that most of the people doing the fighting, whether they agree with what they're fighting for or not, are just people like you and me that would just live in another country. Now, obviously, there are some notable exceptions to that in the world. I'm not saying every soldier's like that, but more often than not, the men and women that actually die during conflicts are not the people who start the conflicts.
Yeah. And also, I want to go to go to a gig on the back of a trawler with flame boxes.
I'm glad. I'll come back to flame boxes in a minute. I'm glad you said that, because I did love the kind of almost that conceptual conceit of going, have you found the boat yet? Don't worry about it. We'll unpack our instruments and we'll find it whilst playing a song on the back of the boat. It amused me. You say flame boxes. I wrote down little pop pyro that kept going off every now and again, because it reminded me more of the exploding barbed wire death match from the AEW main event than it did WrestleMania pyro.
Yeah, you can see what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
But, on a rocking boat in wind and rain.
It did make me enjoy it less. In fact, if anything, it made me smile. I don't think that was its intent, but it did. I did enjoy it. I did enjoy the fact that it wasn't kind of quite so, there wasn't flames
dramatic.
licking out. Yeah. Like it was, we gave it an attempt, but and we can't afford the boat nor to get more pyro, so we'll take what we've got. Also, like almost going in with the flame boxes is his knee thumping was at a level beyond what I think I've ever seen him or any other human being do before. I really had fears for how dead a leg he must have had after that filming that video.
Yeah, because he's upping Till's intensity there.
Yeah, I mean, like, he looked like he really, really, really had a bitter argument with his right leg at some point and was going to take his frustrations out on it.
So, the song, Mr. Seddon, what did you think of that?
I really like the chorus. And I wonder whether, because the video grabbed me so much, sometimes in the verses, I feel like I was a little bit distracted by the visuals, which is not, it's not a criticism of the song at all. It's more a criticism of me being able to not focus on multiple things. But one of the reasons why I think I really like the chorus is every time the chorus hit, and I say the chorus, but probably the pre-chorus as well, it yoinked me away from the video to kind of going, oh yeah, there's this song playing and I quite like it. So I'm not entirely sure it grabbed me at all parts. But yeah, dueling banjos with the video might have been the cause for that. And where I kind of sit it in the echelon of Sabaton songs that we've done at the moment, I think I will remember it for its chorus only. Whereas I think some of the others, it has been the whole song that has stuck with me a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was really good, and I quite liked, as in it. I liked it more than but I didn't go necessarily wow. So quite like the guitar solo as well. But I think I like the guitar solo because it kind of linked two cracks at the chorus, which I was really enjoying. But yeah, I don't know. In the ones that we've done, I don't think it's my least favourite, but I know it's not near the top, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it was one of those. I've heard this before because I've listened to all their albums. When it first started, I was like, I can't remember this one. It was the chorus, and I was like, yes.
Yeah.
So even for me, who's listened to it before, this is one of their songs that the chorus is the main hook. It's the bit that grabs you. No, this is This is Sabaton doing what Sabaton does really well with a.
I'm glad you said it, because I almost wanted to say the same thing, but I thought I don't want to get pilloried in the comments.
Cracking chorus, catchy, memorable, big solo. Fist pumpy at a gig. If they start playing this at Bloodstock or Vakken or whatever, the whole crowd will be giving it all along with it. It is. Is it the one that you're going to lose your shit to? No. But is it the one that if they start playing it, you're going to be happy they're playing it? Yes.
Well, I think partially because we've done a bit more now. But this is probably that. Maybe not the first time, but one of the more notable times where I go without the video, without the name of the song, and without the name of the band, I'd have heard this and went, "Oh, that's Sabaton." And partially that should be quite easy to do because like singers have distinct vocal styles. But I think even if you cut the lyric track off, I would have gone, "This is Sabaton."
Yeah.
But I don't mean that in a bad nor a good way. But I think it might be that more familiarity with it, or possibly it sits in the more Sabaton-y of Sabaton songs. Whereas, it's like a dog with a bone on this one. But I keep going back to Christmas Truce, and that had something more to it. That had that thing that put it into that top end of their songs for me. Whereas, outside of the chorus, I think this one might sit kind of somewhere in the when we've done all the Sabaton songs we ever do. I don't think this will be one of the ones that jumps to the forefront of my mind as that's the Sabaton that I love. But also, it's one where I point to someone and I go, "No, do you want to know what Sabaton sound like? Listen to this song."
Yeah. So we do have more Sabaton already in the list, but you can fill it up with more down there.
Yeah.
There is.
I'm looking for the best of Sabaton from you guys.
So we already have other Sabaton stuff in the channel already. So if you want to know what to put in the list, see if we've done it already. Because
find me my Christmas Truce killer. Find me the Sabaton song that will knock that off the lofty perch that I currently have it on.
Yes. As always, YouTube things like subscribe and ringing bells. And until next time, good day.